What is up, everyone? Super exciting news for my vrising fans. We have a dev update on the next chapter, teasing what is to come with the next update for vrising. There's a lot of goodies in here. I know our peers are rejoicing on some of this news, and there's a lot to kind of chat about. So we're gonna kind of go through it and chat away and talk about the next chapter of vrising because it has been a while, as they mentioned, and there's a lot of stuff they want to talk about. We're not going to go, the foundations for flourishing future section. Basically, the TLDR of this is that they have done a lot of work on upgrading their foundation, their engine. They kind of mention that, because in case you guys weren't aware, that vrising is built on is still in the works experimental engine, which enables them to achieve technological witchcraft, which might seem impossible to many developers. But because of this, no, this is a fresh engine that they're still developing, so they kind of talked about that they are creating a more stable, well-supported version of the game engine, which is going to be able to do a lot more things, to have a lot higher quality for the game itself, which obviously is awesome. I know that's something that a lot of people were hoping for, and kind of just higher frames, higher quality of the game overall. This will allow them to do a lot more stuff on the tech side as well, create cooler things. So that's a general update there. Not the most exciting stuff that we want to talk about. I mentioned our full release of vrising plan for the second quarter of 2024. So again, this is still lining up with what is realistically going to be around May of 2024, as they kind of chatted about before. So things still look like it's going to be going on track. And this is not like the final update they are doing. This is just the full launch of the game. They said there's more things to come afterwards. A big thing they want to do is make sure that there's a proper ending to the story, kind of being able to create all that stuff. Preview below, but again, subject to change as always. And yeah, we got some chibis of some cute vampire art from early concepts. This axe is probably turned into the axes. This bow is probably turned to the crossbow. It might be the bow that we've data mined. Same with the staff, might be the necromancy dagger that we data mined. Jeremy did call me out though in this blog post, so we'll have to acknowledge that later. But yeah, so they said they're trying to prepare the zenith of the Vampire Saga, create an experience that feels like a grand finale of an age-old legend, and naturally, such a grand tale requires a grander stage. The ground beneath your feet will expand even further once more. You'll feel the call of bloodshed bringing you to new places. They're unveiling the brand new zone. It's time to venture beyond the Hollow Mountains into the dark and icy realms where history has been frozen and unseen treats await. Now, here's the thing about this, is we're getting confirmation that the Hollow Mountains are going to be the next zone. My current suspicion, based on where it is on the map right now and how big it is it'll probably be similar to a Gloomrot situation where there's a, lack of better naming, Hollow Mountain South, Hollow Mountain North situation, because it's such a massive zone. Like, if the whole thing right now was just made it to a zone, I think it's like the size of like Dunley and like half of Farbank combined, roughly. Like, it's a huge area. Now obviously with like mountain ranges and everything, that might change up how much is actual move aroundable, playable, parts of the map, and how much is just like blockers that are the mountains and everything. So maybe not, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is kind of broken into two zones with the Hollow Mountains. But either way, we get confirmation. Amazing art as well, something that got teased a few days ago. This looks like a castle inside a mountain, which could be really sick, kind of underground castles in the mountainside. And then this is something that has me really excited. Within this land, you'll find an untapped faction of enemies, bosses to consume, and of course, the ultimate rival, the final challenge. The throne of Vardaron's top predator awaits. Dare you seize it? And we get this crazy art right here. Crazy art of this broken bridge with this red mist-filled, shattered vampiric castle, and this creature standing here, which I gotta assume is the creature from this teaser. This one they showed also later on. We'll get to that later on when we do, but this one right here, I assume is supposed to be the final boss of the game. This crazy, monstrous bat vampire with kind of jagged wings that look like blades. Like, I assume that this is what this is teasing, kind of as a similar structure. This is awesome. Like, this seems crazy. And if Adam is any indication, they know how to make really good final bosses. So I think this is going to be an awesome thing. So whatever's going on, the Hollow Mountains is leading to this final encounter. The patch is centered on enriching the final chapters of your Vampire Chronicle, providing thrilling pursuits worthy of the immense power you've spent time collecting. And we also get this teaser as well. I'm guessing these are going to be some of the troops, one of the factions in the new zone. It could be various concept arts for a new V Blood as well. They've teased V Blood concept arts before, like they teased Maja way back in the day. So this could be some concept arts they have going for a V Blood, but realistically, these are probably going to be members of the new faction, realistically tied into this creature. And this creature doesn't really give me like frosty Hollow Mountain vibes, which is why I'm also still thinking that Hollow Mountain is going to be two zones. One that's going to have your more, they've teased giants in the past and Vikings and stuff. So one more like Viking giant and everything. And the other one more like this like ancient, vampire house or something like that. That'd be my guess of the direction they're going with. It's giving me similar vibes to what they did with Gloomrot before, which is why I'm thinking that. They're also working on sizzling cosmetic overhauls. This is something that's been asked for by the community for so long. To actually be able to customize the ensemble, they said, down to the last detail, we're brainstorming ways to craft varied outfits, experiment with vibrant color palettes and potential dyeing techniques, and most importantly, grant you the freedom to personify your ideal vampire vibe. So they've teased new outfits as kind of, old style, proper clothing, being able to kind of dye your armor like this Night Stalker set. We have like the base, this brown set, this green set, this red and gold set. I think that's awesome. That's been something that people have been asking about. I think, obviously in the PvP scene, people probably don't care as much, but I think it's really cool to flesh out the game for the PvE and RP experience. I think that'll be really sick. And then as with Gloomrot, they're also looking to add more cosmetic options for the castle. While we're keeping the grand designs under wrap, your suggestions are the heartblood of our darkest innovations. We want you to have the castle of your dreams, so tell us of them. And then, of course, the big thing that we have been memeing Bear Me on for so long is finally coming to fruition. We can finally sit in chairs. Something that's so ridiculously stupid that has been blown up out of proportion, but is hilarious nonetheless, is yes, we can be sitting in chairs. They have confirmed it. It's going to be a thing. Awesome. It's a big chair. I mean, it looks like a base model for the throne that they're going to be working on for the chairs. Either way, super, super sick. Finally, after all the memes can die, Jeremy can rest easy now. They've also talked about shaking things up, and this is a really interesting part of the dev blog. They said it's time to crank up the heat and delve into a more immersive experience. Another significant revamp on the horizon for spell and progression unlocks. We've noted a recurring sentiment. vrising's gameplay can feel a bit repetitive after multiple playthroughs, especially for you vampires who have spent hundreds or even thousands of hours in Vardaron. Guilty as charged, right? And so what they're talking about is trying to find ways that will get you access to the same arsenal at the same exact points in the game. While such linearity works wonders for tech progression, it deals in magic for spell unlocks. We get the dominance of no merciless charge, as they mentioned in the early mid game, as a testament. So what they're going to do is they're focusing on broadening spell accessibility early in the game, possibly separating the bond between learning specific spells and V-Bloods. This doesn't mean you'll lose the feeling of draining the power from your foes to add to your own, but instead looks to indulge that feeling in a way that's more flexible for gameplay. We're still figuring out the details, but it will include other advantages, such as allowing us more freely chase our inspirations to design V-Bloods without having to design the spell to fit them and vice versa. This change could mean more build variety at the early stage of vrising, but also allows us to add spells and V-Blood bosses whenever the creative thirst strikes. I think this is really interesting. I don't exactly know how this is going to work. Maybe if you defeat a boss that gives you a chaos spell, you can choose which chaos spell you want to unlock. Maybe that's the idea. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to implement it. I was always a fan of the fact that bosses use the spell that I didn't unlock, but I get why they want to change things. We'll have to see when we get more information on that, because this could very much shake up everything with the game, especially on PvP servers. If you're no longer locked to the Blood Rite, Chaos Volley meta early game, or to the Blood Rage, like if you can immediately unlock Void or a lightning spell, Lightning Curtain or anything like that in the first Copper stage, like that could be huge, right? That's a game changer. So we'll have to see what exactly this means and how they're going to implement it. And then they did this teaser. Fresh blood from new challengers is always cherished ingredients. This seems to be, again, teaser art for a V-Blood. So again, I want to call this back again, because this is why I still think Hollow Mountains will be two zones, because we have this teaser for this character. These guys give me vibes of being some type of vampire house. Like this guy seems like a spy master. These are like a royal guard type thing, but they're not like the Hollow Mountains Viking vibes that they teased before. So again, this is why I think Hollow Mountains would be broken in two spots: the more frosty, classical Viking style, and then some type of like vampire power, because like that's what these guys are giving the vibe of. This is not giving me the vibe of a Hollow Mountains frosty, Vikings, right? I just want to call that out again because I keep seeing this repeated, and so yeah. Last but not least, something you've clamored for is inching closer to reality: live events. When you're reaching the apex of your vampire journey, you'll find the new area bustling with spontaneous happenings, beckoning you out from your cozy castle for some tasty treats. Engage in alliances or face off with other vampires, collecting valuable resources and bonuses crucial for the game's advanced stages. These living events, if all goes well, could pave the way for dynamic events bursting to life all across Vardaron. So awesome. While we're still fine-tuning the mechanics and determining what will make the cut for 1.0, this is something they're focusing on, both for PvE and PvP. This is great. This has been something we've been asking for so long, because the issue with the game, especially for the PvP side, is after the first few hours, after the copper stage, everyone spreads out so much that encounters for PvP and just encounters in general become so much harder and less natural. Now, there's been private servers who have done things that kind of balance this out. Like I know like Embrace the Suck, they would do like kind of like this, like spontaneous live events for players to go out to and kind of bring the player base back into one spot on the map to actually fight and interact with. Because otherwise, like outside raiding, after the first 3 hours, it's much harder to just run into people. So I think something like this would be really great for the game. Just add something that's fun, something that bring the player base on that server into a spot together. I think it'll be awesome. It's teasing like this creature might be the live event. Maybe it's the final boss. Maybe the final boss is just live events. Who knows? We'll have to see exactly how it shakes out. But again, this guy, I'm going to do a full zoom on it. This guy just looks sick. This guy just looks sick. I want to be able to turn into this. I want a new form that's like vampire monster form. Let's be turned into this, because that's badass. All right. And then this is where we got called out. For those who don't know, we did a video a while back that got a lot of views of when we data mined and got into the game with the locked weapons and showed them off: the longbow, the necromancy dagger, and the rapier. And since then, there was an interview that Baramy did. It's kind of like, oh, these won't be final again. Again, we get called out here again. I feel directed at this because of my video. Maybe I'm ego boosting myself here. Maybe not. But yes, whispers about the weapon additions. Though some savvy players have uncovered potential leads and might think they've deciphered some clues. Be wary, as not every hint is a revelation. There is, however, a specific weapon we're especially keen on, one that's yet to be discovered by you clever bunch of skulkers. I want you to know, this is a call to Baramy. Since this blog post has been out, my homies and I have been doing everything to data mine this game and check everything we can get spotted with the RPG mod, with the Blaze Shot mod, everything, and seeing what we are missing here. Because if there is one that we've missed, we are searching deep right now. And I just hope you know we are going to find it, and I'm going to tweet at you. I hope you know that. Either way, brace yourself for new weapons, a unique biome, new enemies and bosses, live events, revamped spell mechanics, enhanced character customization, an epic finale, and more as vrising unveils its grandeur in 2024. Stay tuned. This is awesome. And I just say till next time. This is really sick. This is very promising. This is hitting a lot of the things I wanted them to hit with this game. Progression changes, new weapons, new content, customization. This is checking all my boxes right now. This is checking all my boxes, and I am so stoked. So big shout out to the vrising team. This is the latest dev blog. I can't wait to find out more. If you like this content, obviously like and subscribe. And hopefully, guys, we'll be having more vrising videos in the future. If more stuff comes out, we can cover more. By the way, take care. Peace out.